I've never played Too Many Bones, but I'm curious, what does Too Many Bones have to be this such a great game that you have it on first? Do you see any differences between Portuguese and Belgium board games market and community?
They are not picking up a monopoly. They are picking up Too Many Bones, the Lord of the Rings, World of the Ring. You need to be. Those are my precious. Those are my kids. You need to be careful with that. So that's and people
I'm
that
not sure if
don't
you are
have the.
joking right now or if you are speaking seriously. But if it's pandemic and they put Gandalf in there, you're in.
You. I mean, anything that has Lord of the Rings, I'm a sucker.
The conversation is going so well that we both got negative points previously in the previous round. So yes, I don't know what's happening here. You are the Júlio Isidro of fitting board games into galaxies. Manuel, thank you very much for accepting the invitation of being today here in the show.
Thank you for the invitation. Appreciate it's nice to be here. So thank you as well.
Thank you. I love your background. We all know that it's fake, but it's very adequate for our conversation.
It represents what I hope that it might be, because I'm hiding a bunch of boxes here behind that I didn't want to ruin your video with the mess that is behind me. So I try to show a nice fake background.
Okay. So some of us may already know you from your channel, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And you've shown your house, at least the whole house, through those videos. So you're just hiding as a teaser the future house, because I know that you're moving, right?
Yes, we are moving, and yeah, it's been a dry month of February in terms of board games. So I'm kind of excited to Board Game Arena, actually, where we are playing now. It's kind of being my escape during this month.
So we just started and I just play. So as an introduction for those that don't know you, Emanuel, so you are known in the YouTube and Instagram as Dice Tuga, the name of your channel. So and you present yourself, and I'll be quoting you, just a Portuguese guy enjoying at this moment board games. Wow.
Yeah, indeed.
So because this is a board game channel, what is exactly your connection with board games?
My connection with board games didn't start super long ago. I don't have close enough the experience that a lot of people that do content do have with board games. And I've been on YouTube as well already for some time. I tried already before other topics in YouTube, but during COVID, I got it was not my first interaction with board games, but I got an interest in board games. And I've explained this in a previous video. It was because also I like to play video games, and the time of COVID, you had a PS5, and there was all this people buying a lot of PS5s, and if you wanted to buy a PS5, you almost had to sell a kidney. So in order to, exactly. So in order for me to have fun, I had to find another way, because there would be no way I would be contributing for that parallel economy. And that's when I discovered board games, and I thought, wow, I'm the only guy knowing about board games and this new world that opens to me. So I'm going to create an Instagram account. And turns out there was already a lot of people in that world. So that's how it started.
Another important thing to mention for those that don't know is that you are Portuguese. You are Portuguese, but you're living in Belgium, right?
Indeed.
Well, what's the story behind that? Is because of work you changed to Belgium?
While I was in a university in Portugal, I always wanted to do a kind of Erasmus experience, and I ended up. Yeah, I ended abroad. Indeed, I ended up finishing my my university without having done that. And there was a possibility to do what they call the Da Vinci program, which is an Erasmus Plus. It was called like that, and you could do internships in companies abroad. So I finished my study and I could go do internship. It was more a professional internship. So I would be paid. The university would also give me a scholarship. And that's how I sent CVs all over the place: Switzerland, Germany, France, Belgium. And that's how I got in touch with Belgium, and they accepted me. That's how it started.
Okay.
That's how it
You've
came
been
to
living
be.
since then.
Yes, it's been in 2024. It's been 10 years that I'm in Belgium, indeed.
Wow. 10 years already. Cool.
10 years.
So, well, if it's 10 years, maybe my next question may be difficult for you to answer, especially because you started playing board games recently. But I know that you also travel back and go to Portuguese conventions as well. So do you see any differences between Portuguese and Belgium board games market and community?
In terms of community, I don't see a lot of difference. There is always players that are more uh, avid gamers, that they are really like after that win. So that type of personality of or people that are like just having fun, uh, you have it spread out all over the place. In when I go to conventions in Portugal, is really nice experience, because it's with Portuguese community. You know all the people. We are quite small in terms of content creators, so when you get to Portugal, you see all these friends that I just see virtually. So that's very nice, and to also interact with the people that are from my community. Um, so that is very nice, and I also notice it here when sometimes I go to Essen or something like that. It's in that case, in that scenario, it's more me that go after also the people that I follow and that I admire. So that's also a very nice convention for me to get in touch with people that I follow on the different networks. In terms of market, um, I think that in Belgium is quite. Wait, I need to play, otherwise I'll be punished.
Yeah, you'll time out.
Yes, it's okay. There's worse crimes.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of market, I do. I didn't experience board games indeed in Portugal, so I don't know how hard it is. But I know from colleagues how some things can be challenging to find in terms of games, and I see that a lot of times I don't have that difficulty to get a certain game here in Belgium. So we have a lot of how do you call it, the local stores that have also websites, and so I have a lot of variety in terms of stores to get board games. And in the beginning, it was terrible, because in the beginning, when you start the hobby, you start to watch like a lot of top 10 lists and videos like that you're like, this game looks nice. This is the one, and you start buying a lot. And when you have the easy access to those stores, I got to a point that I had at least one box of games every week, and so it was very very easy to pile up and grow the collection, which slowed down now. I am way more critical on the games that I purchase, so there's a bit more of an investigation from my side.
Okay.
But I do find that in Portugal you have a lot of stores as well. Now we start to see more stores appearing on the social networks as well, and I think there's also the community is also growing. So I when there is when people look for something, they other things start to pop up, and I think we start to grow, because I know that, for example, Fnac in Portugal starts to have. When I go to Portugal and I see Fnac, they have a lot more variety in terms of those niche board games than the monopolies and the code names and stuff that we
more
know.
supermarket games, right?
Yes,
Or Toys R
and
Us games.
that's always nice to see that type of thing in a store like Fnac, because it's a store where I would not expect that to show up. So
Yep.
yeah.
The section in Fnac, at least the one that I visit more frequently, the board game section has been expanding, and it's now like a huge wall already. So
Indeed.
it just shows that at least locally, the hobby is growing as well, because there is demand for Fnac to
Indeed.
more
Indeed.
content there. Okay. And personally, in your case, sorry, I'm speaking to you, but I'm looking at Azul, right? So it's not being
Yeah, no problem.
disrespectful. Because I've been told that I'm being disrespectful for the guests because I'm multitasking. I guess the guests are also multitasking, but I've heard that. So now I'm more polite in saying these things, at least with you. But anyway, Manuel, um, I was going to say that in terms of purchasing decisions, so you're more like go to retail and get your games new, or you more like secondhand or used games in marketplaces? Kickstarter guy? I think you're a Kickstarter, right? Because I've seen some videos when you are very excited when the Kickstarter knocks at your door.
Yes. In the beginning, I was very new guy, new game.
Mhm.
Needs to come with the plastic, needs to be there. I need to do the unboxing. And I was also doing a lot of unboxing videos. So I was like, it needs to come new.
Yeah.
But with the time, and yes, Kickstarter and GameFound, it was terrible because it's something that you buy with excitement, but the excitement, uh, you are only going to get it like in a year, best case scenario, or in 2 years. And at that moment, your taste might have changed a lot already, and you
Hmm.
might not care about choose an invalid option. Let me switch this up. Yep. Your taste might have changed, and it already happened to me that I received the game at home, and I'm like, oof. If it was today, I would have not backed this, or at least I would have done some investigation. So today, I am way more a secondhand board game person. I really go, certainly because I got also a bit tired of everything that is new nowadays. Everything that comes out seems to be
Too expensive.
somehow hype in every
Okay.
way.
Okay.
Certainly, if it comes in Essen, and I am going after more of classics. I really like trying to look at old school games from when we say 2015, 2016, it seems that it's not so long ago, but it kind of is. And so I found some really nice experiences, and yeah, that's what I'm trying to look for in Kickstarters. It's mainly thematic games, dungeon crawlers that I get a crush on it, and I'm a sucker for
Hmm.
it, and I regret every time that I buy them, but just like those.
Yep. You described the reason why I'd never done any Kickstarter, which is I purchase now and then I get the game 1 year later or 2 years later. That
Yeah,
just doesn't work for me. When I purchase it, I need to have it then, or just wait for it to come in the mail. So yeah,
yeah, totally
I
understand.
yes. So I haven't there hasn't been yet a game that would make me get my credit card and pay it and wait for 1 year or two. So I try to do what I try to do is because it's super expensive to buy everything new. I'm always watching the marketplaces, the used websites, because the community is very good in treating the games well. So when you buy in certain
Yes.
places, even secondhand, it looks like new. It looks like new. So that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I do, and I try to say.
No, totally agree. You will only see a game that is more worn up a bit, like when it's an older game that is like from 10 years ago or something, and
Mhm.
the person played. But even then, I see games of that amount of use in good qualities. And
Yeah.
here in Belgium, and also it's Belgium and France, we have a really good website that is called Ocasdeo, which is similar to occasion, which in French means occasion, which means it's secondhand.
Yeah.
And in that website, you find a lot of secondhand games or Kickstarter games that people like me bought it and realized this is not for me. You find a lot of those in that website, and it's great. Another way, it's Vinted.
That's my favorite.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, Vinted also you can sell a lot and buy a lot, and it's really nice to find out those classics in there.
Well, since we are leaving tips here for purchasing decisions, Vinted is very good because, first of all, I'll just give my opinion. You have a global marketplace, global in Europe, right? It's not just local marketplace. You can buy it from many countries, and shipping is within European space, so it's not super expensive. There's no taxes or those extra things that you get from eBay, etc. And probably the best feature for me in Vinted is that, and we are giving publicity here for free, but is the fact that you can throw a lower price immediately to the buyer. And sometimes they just say yes, and you saved 40% just because they were desperate.
It's just that they favorite your item, and you can immediately react to that
As
choice
well.
of them by lowering your price immediately. And sometimes you lower €2 or €3, and it's
and
good enough
goes, right?
for them to be like, this okay, then it's nice, and so they buy it, and you get rid of the game that is just taking space on your shelf. That's how I see them. And now with the move, it was an essential piece to get rid of some games that I was not willing to sell. But when you start moving and you start seeing the boxes getting filled up, and you're like, I'm getting tired of this, then you think twice and you start selling some of them.
The conversation is going so well that we both got negative points previously in the previous round. So yes, I don't know what's happening here, but luckily we both got it. Okay.
I don't really care about losing or winning in a game. Most of the times I am not distracting the people that are playing the game, but I'm most of the times like making jokes or doing stupid things. That's how I live it. And it's really funny for me to see people really like into the game and being very, very competitive, because it triggers me. It makes me like, there's a victim for me there. But I don't really care. So that's why I'm playing, looking, and I'm trying to do the best combinations. And the last one,
and I'm fixing the light at the same time as well. So speaking of jokes, so I need to say this one because in order not to miss the timing here, but you just revealed the strategy as a seller, what people need to do on Vinted, right? It's just favorite your item, wait for you to lower the price, and then accept. So you know how to find Emanuel in Vinted, probably Emanuel or Tuga. If you see that, you know how to lower the price, which is just favorite team.
Yeah, indeed. But I also have an advice: always take pictures of your packing and all the steps that you use to pack your game. Because you get also bad people, of course, that try to take advantage, that say that the game was damaged. And so if you have to deal with Vinted, you'll have to have that kind of proof, because the buyer is protected, the seller not so much. And if you want to keep having that good rating on the top, you want to protect yourself. So
never had that experience, but I know that happens. So if you could take those pictures, that's really good advice.
I didn't have as a seller. I had it as a buyer. In the end, I told the person that, look, it's okay. We all make mistakes, but pay attention next time. But yeah, that person could have had someone way worse than me. And
what I see a lot, and I hear from other people, is that when someone put an item on favorites, sometimes the sellers go back to you and say, hey, you're not buying. So by marking an item as being a favorite, it seems like you want to buy it already. And some sellers are very nervous and they try to push you to buy. Right?
Okay, no.
I think you lose a little bit of purchasing power when you mark an item as favorite, right? So then the interaction with the seller is not that easy because it's already on your favorites. So you have more willingness to buy. While if you just strike with a lower price without marking as favorites, probably you have more negotiation power because it's not marked as favorite. But maybe just too psychological for most people, these things. And where I'm going to fit this is on the second row. Okay. And more negatives for me. Cool.
That must be.
Cool. So, Emanuel, then I was picturing that I didn't know your story about COVID. You only started playing recently, but I imagine that you had the chance to play board games in Portugal, then you had to move to Belgium, and then you had to start all over again, finding people to play, etc. But since you have these two perspectives, if someone is now planning to move to another country and is a board gamer with a local community, and then needs to find something new in another country, what advice would you give to that person? How to start a new community or find a new community?
To find a community for me was kind of like a sign, because I started playing solo games. I was mainly playing solo games, and so my group of people was half by luck and half because of Instagram. The first person that I played with was another Instagrammer, Board Game Pixels, that is a friend of mine here in Belgium, and it was through there that we start talking, and we went to play board games. And the first board game that we played together was Obsession. And the other person was Orlando Pessoa, because he made Pessoa, but it's the designer of Pessoa.
Yep.
That I bought him a game on Facebook on a group of board gamers, and I bought the game from him. And when I got to his place to buy the game, I found out that he was Portuguese. But not only was Portuguese, he was a board game designer. For me, it was like
he's in Belgium. He lives in Belgium.
Yeah, he lives in Belgium.
Oh, cool!
It was like like when the sun shines through the clouds. It was like, wow, this is the sign. I start a board game channel, and I meet the first board game that I buy on Facebook Market. It's being sold by a board game designer that is Portuguese. So I took that as as a sign at the time, but that helps. Facebook, Instagram. On Facebook, you also have board game groups depending on the where you live. But there is one for Brussels. Here they have even something called something monkeys, something like that. That I found out about that on a local store that sells board games. They have flyers about that. So there's quite enough ways for you to find a community. So, and if you don't find online, just go to a board game store, see if they plan some board game nights, and that's how you start. You just go to those board game nights and you meet some people, and then you start building your own group.
They'll know.
Yeah.
They'll know, right? Okay.
Yeah. And also here in Belgium, you have, at least in Belgium, you have in summer the Brussels Board Game Festival. So there also you have the opportunity to know designers and publishers and people that play board games and test the games and so on. So it's really nice.
Sounds cool. So is there any Belgian board game tradition or habits that surprised you? Like playing board games and eating sheeps?
That is sometimes, at least when it's my games, I stress out a bit with all the beer that is around, because beer is a Belgian thing. It's very good beer, even though I almost don't drink, but there is very good beer here in Belgium. But no, that would be it. There is no other things that shocked me. Okay. No.
That's making me nervous. Beer and board games, the accident will happen for sure. They always happen.
It already happened. It already happened. Not to my board games, but it happened.
Yep. So once I had a beer dropped on my commander deck, Magic the Gathering commander deck. Luckily, everything was sleeved, but still, the smell stays there.
Yeah, I also those games that are very close to my heart. I don't care how many jokes people might do, but they are all getting sleeved. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Imagine some beer landing on too many bones.
That's okay. That's okay, because too many bones is 100% plastic.
Yeah, okay. So bad example. So rewinding.
That would be okay.
That beer landing on Lord of the Rings, the card game.
That would be that would be friendship breaker reason there immediately.
Okay. And is there any difference between the kind of games that people like in Belgium versus Portugal, or
no?
Just, no.
There is people that like dungeon crawlers. There is people that like card games, trading card games, and so on. And I am on WhatsApp groups. That's how I get in contact with the tastes of people in Portugal. I belong to different WhatsApp groups in Portugal, and they talk about the same thing. Whatever is hyped, or a new thing and a new subject, a new game that is talked here in Belgium, it is the same in Portugal. I never saw something popping up in Portugal that didn't come in Belgium as well. So as a topic, so no, there's a big variety. There's a lot of people that like Euro games. My group mainly, we play Euro games. It's almost impossible to play a cooperative game with my group. They would not do that. So it's always Euro games that we play, which I love. So there is no problem on that. But no, there's different tastes for everything.
Okay. So everyone just follow the same trends that are being announced all over the world.
Yeah, we try to get one person of the group always gets a game that was released in S and that is hyped and stuff. So we always try the new games quite easily. And yeah, that's how we get in touch with a lot of different games and experience.
We are getting to the end of the first game, and then I'll propose you a rematch for us to continue having our conversation. So let's see how this ends. Oh, for
Good.
2 points only. 2 points.
Oh, wow.
Points.
Okay. 2 points.
Yeah.
Not so bad.
I'm
impressed.
So let me invite you, and then we can. So now I'm just unlocking trophies here in the video.
Actually, Azul, it's there's a fun story about Azul. I even made a video when it happened. My girlfriend offered me Azul once. It was a Christmas gift. And I think it was a Christmas gift. And when I opened the box, I was like, this is not a board game box. It was like this, like in Portugal, or like a fair. The fairs, like where you can have these cheap toys. You can buy like a cheap arrow, a bow with an arrow for kids. Like you can buy these little toys.
Yeah.
And that box of Azul was exactly like that style. So she was ripped off from a website. It was a copy, but it was a fake Azul. So she was ripped off from a website, and that's my first contact with Azul. But the game was there, but it was totally fake.
Sometimes you have from AliExpress and Temu.
Yeah, she didn't buy from a website like that. She bought from a website that was apparently the domain was in Belgium, but I think they were outsourcing from stuff like Alibaba and stuff. So she got it fake. Luckily, we got the money back, but
you got
it's always
could be an interesting video for YouTube to show these counterfeit copies for other people to be informed.
Yeah, but sometimes it's hard because you'll only see it when you receive it. But indeed, I made a video about it. I showed the difference between I wonder if I don't have it on YouTube. I remember I did a series of videos where I showed the difference of the real and the fake. And it's totally playable, the fake one. But yeah, just by principle, it's fake. So don't buy it. It's low
I
quality.
didn't see it. Maybe it's there. Okay. What probably is there as well is an invitation on your side, Emanuel, for accepting the game. You should have one.
Okay. Check. I'll refresh here.
So one of the things that while you search for your invitation, so yeah, let's start. One of the things that caught my attention of your content many months ago or years, I don't know exactly already, was the fact that you did, and everyone can see because the links for your videos and channel is on the video description. This video description. So you created board game content, but with humor, okay, which is very rare. And I see some very stupid things in other content creators. They do very stupid things that look like dancing and board games at the same time. But yours, I found it funny and interesting, right? And I'm telling you this finally in person, right? And I think the ones that spoke the most with me were the ones that you were touching pain points that I also suffer. Like, for example, board games and relationships, board games and where should I put more games at home, right? I guess everyone suffers that, and you face that as in an humoristic way, right? But because you have the pain, because you talk about that, is because you have the pain, right? So I would like to discuss with you how you end up solving those problems, especially, for example, how to store board games at home. So I don't know exactly the size of your previous house, new house, but the fact is that you continue to buy Kickstarter to Kickstarter, bigger and bigger boxes. What are the solutions that you found where to store games? And you store under the couch as well, if I remember correct.
When I make a lot of jokes in the videos where I say that my girlfriend is like limiting my choices and stuff like that. Well, in reality, she is, but she's not as hardcore as I seem as I transpire in the videos. She's quite cool with that.
Does she play games, Emanuel? Does she play?
She does play.
Marry her.
She does play. Well, we got 2 kids, so it's almost like it's more expensive than getting married. So it's almost like getting married. But indeed, like I am indeed limited to 2 Calexes. I don't know how I managed to put a second Calex in the previous or in the current house where I am at, because I still didn't move. But I was able to get a second Calex. And when you are limited, you can get really creative, like when you are like in a challenge mode, like that, you are like forced to keep your stuff in a certain amount of meter square. You get creative. I'm also very lucky that in the house where the Calexes were, we have a 4-meter high building, so I could just keep on stacking them. But security-wise, would be very dangerous if the Calex would move and wobble. The kids could be in danger.
You nail it to the wall?
No, it was not. It's not nailed.
You should, but because of kids, yes, you should.
Yeah, but in the base, I always put the heaviest ones, so it should be stable. And they don't. The girls, they know that they should not be next to it at all, touching the games. They know it's a forbidden place. Daddy doesn't like the games to be touched by dirty hands, because you know how kids are. They eat pasta with their hands and then they just like rub it all over the wall.
Yeah, tell me.
But the techniques, I think it's more like moving the calyx a bit to the front so that you leave a certain amount of space in the back, and you can stack games on top of games in the back as well.
Okay.
That are not visible, but they are there, and the calyx just move a little bit. So that's one technique. The other one is stacking them on top.
The calyx to the wall. That's the reason why you don't nail it to the wall. Yes,
indeed.
Okay.
And also expansion box that are way too big. You can store some other games, but that will be a bit challenging to try to find them out afterwards, because you won't know where you put them. But yeah, those are the challenges. Those are the techniques that I use. There is no games under the couch. There was a lot of games under the TV shelf that my girlfriend was not aware. But yeah, that's how we do.
So you mentioned two. Thanks for sharing all those tips. You mentioned two calyxes, but you didn't say exactly the size of the calyxes. So you can
it's a 3x4. 3x4s.
Yeah, 2 3x4s.
Yeah.
Just looking. 3x4 is like top one that I have there, right? It's like those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
That's not much for everything that you show. Wow.
Yeah, but I have I do not have a lot of space, but I'm also surprised because I was now packing the games to move to the other place, and I was like filling boxes, and I would look at the calyx and it was still full, and I'm like, how did I do this? Like, and I'll keep on filling boxes, and the boxes would never empty. So
that's like the wall that I have there. So you if you put all your collection in that, it's like a miracle. You are a miracle maker in
but
fitting
I stacked quite a lot on top of each other. So, and it's a game on itself to play, to try to put them in the shelf. So you kind of play a bit of Tetris as well. So yeah.
You need to teach me how to put the games in that way, because I guess you are not that kind of person that likes to have the games perfectly aligned in the shelves by the colors.
No,
and
the way I
you just
do,
throw everything there in order to fit.
The way I do, because of the noise, of the visual noise, is that in the back I push the way in the way, and every hole I try to put the game. But in the front, I always keep the game face to you so that you see artwork.
Okay.
And in reality, the people, when they look at the shelf, they will only see 9 board games because the rest is behind hidden. But yeah, that's
so you could have that front game, and then if you push the calyx, you could have like one row of games and then a second row of games. So that makes like 9 or 10 games, normal boxes. Okay, so I'm going to say something here on the record, only for the Portuguese people to understand, and pardon me for the rest of the world. You are the Júlio Isidro of fitting board games into calyxes. Because Júlio Isidro fit 20 people inside a mini.
Yes.
That's you. That's you. And I said it on the record already.
I was not understanding, but I do remember, like when you mentioned about the Júlio Isidro, about fitting games in the calyx. Indeed, there was a lot of people in that mini.
People can see in YouTube, probably the video is available somewhere.
Yeah. I've seen it already.
You mentioned that your girlfriend also plays, and you have 2 daughters. You're making them also. You're playing with them as well, right?
Yes.
Although they cannot touch the games, but they play. They play with you.
They can touch their games, so they have also board games. But my games, they cannot touch. I'm very picky. Like every time a non-board game person touches the games, they don't. It's just that they don't have the sensitivity. They don't understand.
I know.
It's not. They are not picking up a Monopoly. They are picking up Too Many Bones, the Lord of the Rings, World of the Ring. You need to be. Those are my precious. Those are my kids. You need to be careful with that. So that's and people
I'm
that
not sure if
don't
you're
have the
joking right now or if you are speaking seriously
about no. It's.
about this.
I mean, of course, if I have to choose between my kids and my board games, I choose my kids 20 times over. But I do have uh, some of these board games are very special to me, and they are kept away, hidden in the back, so that nobody can really pick them by accident or touch them. So with kids in the house, it's quite easily to step on a box and damage the box and destroy the box.
Yeah. When I say I'm not sure if you're joking or not, it's because I'm really imagining that you invite people at your home and you would say, "Hey, let's try War of the Rings," but then you like don't allow people to touch, or hey, you are
No,
moving the
that no.
miniatures too hard, you can break
No,
the
no, no, no,
miniature.
no, no, no. No, not at all, not at all. But if they come with a drink, I might be like,
No.
can you just move that a little bit to the side? Because that yes, but no, moving pieces and cards and stuff. No, that's not I'm not that type of player. I don't. I'm also not the alpha player when I play a cooperative game with someone that is not experienced in that type of games. I let them choose. That's what I do with my daughter. When we play cooperative, I explain to her the different possibilities that she has, and I let her choose. And sometimes it's the wrong decision, but it's part of the game. So I have fun with it, and she also has fun with it. So.
Okay. So what's your strategy, or can you share your plan to also make your daughters like to play board games with you? Do you have like a plan that you introducing them small steps into the hobby?
Yes, it needs to be small steps. I made a video about it where I told about the top 10 kids games that I recommend, and actually those 10 games were actually the recommendation of my daughter that she enjoyed to play with me. And if you are starting to play, when I say you, the people, if you want to introduce your kids to board games, you really need to take it slow and be patient and forget about the rules. Let them just touch the components, open a box with them, let them play around. For example, Ticket to Ride was one of the games that was the first one of the first contacts with board games that my daughter had. In the beginning, she was just building railways with the trains. We were just playing like that, and that's it. I remember that we were rolling a d6 and the different number that would come on the dice. That's the number of train miniatures that you could put on the railway. That's how we were playing, and we have a lot of ABBA games. There is a very good one that is about a farm. I don't have it any. I have it here. I can show it. I I didn't pack it yet, but it's this one. I don't know if we'll be able to see because of my background. Yeah, it's something like this. It's my first box of board game, and this box comes with I think 10 games inside, and it's very nice for kids of small age. Like my 3 years old, now my 4 years old, she also really likes this game. Um, and it already introduces a lot of different mechanics, deck building, dice rolling. You also have some card play and memory game. So that's how you small steps. And those small steps kind of worked with my oldest one for now, because now we play games like Lord of the Rings or Seven Wonders Duel. She really enjoys Horrified. It's a game that she also really loves. So it's just building small steps. Be very patient. If they get tired of playing, stop. Respect their tiredness and do not force it.
Okay.
And that's how I do it, and it worked.
Okay, thank you again for sharing. And with girlfriend, so she always played, or you also introduced her to the hobby?
No, she probably played in the past other board games that, like me, I played in the past. Games like, the ones that everybody knows, like Catan, Monopoly. I actually never played Monopoly properly, but like Catan or what else? Cluedo, stuff like that. In Portugal, we had also some Portuguese ones that I don't remember the name anymore that I played. Exploding Kittens, Uno, those stuff. She played it before. But this new world of board games, I think she also was kind of discovered with my introduction to it. And yeah, she really likes, for example, Concordia. It's one game that she really enjoys. Trois is also another game that she really likes. And so we just don't have a lot of time to play together, but she enjoys to play those board games as well.
When you play with your daughters, do you include girlfriend, or you try to do like a more
we
experience, and then you keep the serious for playing with her, for example?
No. We also play as a family. With the young one, the youngest one, it's harder to play as a family because if she's around, she doesn't yet have that interest to keep herself attached to it. But if we play, like for example, a Dragomino, she will be fine. Or a Dodo, which is the one that has the stone rolling. She also enjoys. So those ones are easy to play as a family.
Okay. The perfect moment will be when everyone can play anything, right?
Oh yeah.
But then it means that time has passed by, right, Emanuel? Time has passed by, and they are not kids anymore.
It goes fast. It goes really fast indeed.
So you can see here. I don't know if it's video. It's Imperial Assault. So I'm trying the craziness of introducing Imperial Assault to 8-year-olds and 5-year-olds, and
yeah, it's challenging because it has some reading in it, and certainly for the younger, and it's in English. You don't.
I do the reading, so and I translate.
Yeah.
So
I do that with Journeys in the Middle Earth as well.
It should be the same thing, but in Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah, I also have to read, and you have the app, so she interacts with the game as well through that, but it's way easier when they will get to the stage where they can understand what they are reading and so on. So, but yeah, it's a challenge. What you're saying, it's a tough one. And they enjoy?
They do. Yes, but sometimes the game is too long, and you really need to pause or just leave everything as it is and resume on another day, or just telling them, and do you want to continue play? Maybe you can stop. I take care of your character or something, and they just go and do other things like painting or whatever it's on their mind.
That's the way it needs to be done. For them to start to
forcing to play is really not an option, because I believe they will create like a negative experience as well. Board games is that activity that I get tired and then I'm forced to continue.
Indeed.
And you don't want to do that.
And it's not easy because we like board games, and we know that for them if we want them to feel the same way. But indeed, it's like eating vegetables. They will not eat it in the first day. They will have to try it and get used to the flavor and to the texture, and only then they will accept it on their dishes. And with board games, it's the same. I also got into a situation where we were playing Journeys, and it was being too long for my daughter, and I could see that she was like, and getting tired, and I was like, it's okay, we'll stop here. We can continue later or another day, and that's how it should be done.
Exactly. I've never been into a board game convention. The national ones here. I've never been, but I know that you are a frequent visitor. And it seems like you plan also your trips to Portugal, especially to be on those things, because you share lots of content when those happen. What is the advantage you see in attending conventions here or in Belgium?
There's two type of conventions. There's conventions where the focus is mainly playing and connect with the community and be with people, with friends, and with people that follow you and get to know them. So those are more the conventions that I find in Portugal. And then you have conventions like, for example, Essen, where you go there, which honestly, it's an amazing experience. I only went once this year. I had unfortunately an issue that I could not attend, but it's an amazing experience because there is so many people, all of them with one goal to play and get board games. And there is this connection with all of us, and you get to be in touch with publishers from all over the world. And it's really nice to make connections. People are very open to get in contact with you, and it's very cool. You see people that you know them from YouTube, from the other side of the world, and you go. Sometimes you can get bad experiences. I cannot guarantee that it will always be nice, but other times it's like, wow, this guy is just like me. He's just like he has like I don't know how many followers on YouTube, and he's super humble. And you sometimes you have another guy that has 10 followers somewhere. I'm exaggerating, and then thinks that he's like the big star of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But the positives happens way more often than the negatives ones.
Okay.
So for Portugal, it's really like about playing a lot of games. You have the convention, you have VianaCon, that is organized by Ricardo. You have the one in Aveiro that is RiaCon. That was the first Portuguese conventions that I went. It was great. It was awesome. And you have LadyCon. So LadyCon is also very, very nice. So all of those three, I always had a very good experience. VianaCon is in a really nice location, and really in the town is very nice as well. And LadyCon allows you to play all 24/7. It's like 24/7, no, but it's like 24 hours. You can be there playing long games. It's the perfect convention to play those games that can last over 10 hours. And yeah, that's where I would be able to play. That's where I played World of the Ring the first time. It was in Lady Econ. I also played Twilight Imperium, 4th edition, also in Lady Econ. And I would not be able to play those with my friends here or with my girlfriend or anything. So those are nice for that. So for me there's always two types of conventions.
It's not easy to find the time and the space for 8 hours of Twilight Imperium that people have life.
Certainly with kids. Certainly when you have kids and your friends have kids, everybody has his own agenda. It gets really, really tough to plan. And so those conventions like that are perfect because everybody, you can play in advance, you can plan in advance. You tell, look, I'm going to be there in that convention. Can we maybe try to play a Twilight Imperium or something like that? And you always get the friends that have that game and you can play it. And it's awesome. It's really awesome. Really nice experience. I totally recommend for you to do it.
Thanks for the advice. So the way I see it, and as I mentioned, I've never been in any, but I think that because the idea is that you would be playing 24 hours almost, right? Or at least all day. I don't think I have the stamina for that, because maybe after one or two games, especially if they require you to think hardly, I want to rest, and I'm not sure what to do on a convention if you're not playing.
It's okay. You can rest by me, for example. If I do not spend all my time playing board games, I can give the example of Lady Econ. If you want to rest, go to your bedroom. There's an hotel just next to it, or you can just go and walk around LadyCon. There's the section with the secondhand games that you can spend hours there because people bring their games that they want to sell, and so they are available there, and you can just go through all of them and spend time there. And so you kind of disconnect from playing. Also, there is a lot of people, so you will meet people, you will start talking with people, have a beer, have a coffee, whatever, and it can happen that you spend an entire afternoon just talking with people and not playing board games at all. So it's
a social experience as well.
It's a social experience. It's a very, very nice experience.
Okay, I'm getting my 2 red tiles now before moving to the next topic, because the next topic is very heavy here. So I've seen your, not sure if I'm the one that missed more recent content, but I see that you have a top 10, not a top 10, you have a top, but it's top games, but it's from 2022. And on those videos, I could find that your top 10, you have names like Gloomhaven, Sleeping Gods, Troy, Obsession, Legacy of Dragonhold, Lord of the Rings, Journey in Middle-earth, Nemesis, Imperial Steam, Lord of the Rings card game, and first, Too Many Bones. But this was 2 years ago. Has your top 10 changed, Emanuel, since then?
I would say that some of them moved up on the list to, when I say moved up, moved to the top 20, are not in the top 10 anymore. But the big ones are still there. Too Many Bones is still my number one. Is still the game that I thrive to have more time to be able to play that game, and I have all the content for it. It's the game together with the LCG of Lord of the Rings and the Journeys in the Middle Earth as well. It's the game that I went after everything. I needed to have everything. So, but there is some introductions. There is more Euro games as well that got close to the top 10 list, like Concordia. I really like Concordia. But there's Beer Pioneer now, which is a Euro game that I really love. I was able to play more this year. Mage Knight is also there. I really found out that I was not prepared for Mage Knight when I first played for the first time. It is very heavy in rules, but I think that since by now I already played some games with different mechanics and so on, you start to understand the game better because you already know at least what is the mechanic in there, and then it's just like applying the rules of the game to the mechanic that you already know. So you're not discovering a new mechanic like deck building and stuff like that. You already know what is deck building. So I really enjoyed, and Star Wars Rebellion. I think Star Wars Rebellion is really there head to head with Too Many Bones. I love Star Wars Rebellion, and I'm not a huge fan of Star Wars. I do enjoy Star Wars, but Star Wars Rebellion really, when I played it, I already played twice this year. I really get like I want to finish this game and start again. I want to replay it again. And it's a game that can last
that I was mentioning. I could not do that.
It's a game that that can last 4 hours,
right? Yeah.
4 or 5 hours, and I'm ready to go again. I really, it was surprising to me. I was not expecting that. I thought this game was always super hyped because I played Outer Rim and it was okay. I didn't get crazy over it. I do enjoy Outer Rim, but Rebellion I really enjoy. It's really, really cool in terms of theme and how the theme fits the mechanics. And with the expansion, it gets even better. So yeah, those two, I would say that also somewhere there I must have Obsession. I don't have the recent list, but I'm looking here through my games. I think Obsession would be there as well. But there is a lot of Lord of the Rings indeed. There is the duel for the Middle Earth as well that came this year. It's the most played game here in the family with my daughter. She loves it, and she kicks me almost every time.
I haven't tried it yet. I haven't tried it.
Yeah, it's for me. If you don't care about Lord of the Rings, between that or having Seven Wonders Duel, it's a choice. I think Lord of the Rings has more content in it. It adapted some of the expansions of Duel, but they both are really good games. So, but I do prefer Lord of the Rings, of course.
Mm-hmm. So a quick one, because you're touching on the Lord of the Rings. So between Rebellion and War of the Ring, which one?
I would really need to. I would really need to replay War of the Ring. If Rebellion would be in second, War of the Ring would be third. That's for sure.
Okay.
Which one of the two I like the most? It's hard to say. For now, I would say Star Wars. I know it's crazy, but I would say I've enjoyed Star Wars more. But we played the War of the Ring. I played 2 players against 1, so I was with the bad guys with another friend against the good guys, and that person was more experienced. So it was different. Here it was really the rebellion against the rebels, and it was 1 against 1. So I had a better feeling about that one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I have to revisit War of the Ring,
because although those boxes say 4 players, let's be realistic. Those two are a 2-player game, right? Those
no, it's a 2-player game. It's
yes.
a 2-player game. That is, of course, it's great that you can play it 4 and 3. It is possible indeed. I played the War of the Ring 3 players, but 2 players is for me. It's the way that it was meant to be 2 players, and certainly it makes sense on those 2 themes. One that is the rebellion, the other one that is the rebels. It makes total sense that is only 2 players, because when you have more than 2 players, there is a lot of planning between your team, and that takes even more time to advance in the game. So it can become quite long.
I've never played Too Many Bones, but I'm curious, what does Too Many Bones have to be such a great game that you have it on first throughout
I
the
don't
year?
know. I remember that when I started, I was looking for solo games. No, I didn't have a group. My girlfriend was not interested to play either. My daughters were too young, so I was really looking for solo games. And everywhere, the top solo games were either what's the name? The one with the Spirit Island. That was always on the top lists. You had Spirit Island, you had Too Many Bones, and others. But Too Many Bones, there was something about the art that I was like, I'm not sure. And the game cost like, at the time it was like 130 euros. I was like, wow, that's quite of a big investment. And it's a game that you cannot find in a lot of places besides the store of Ship Theory game online, or sometimes here in Belgium, some of the local stores, they also have a copy available, but it's really difficult to find locally. So you cannot try it, you cannot see it, you cannot feel the pieces. So I took a risk and I bought a game, the game, and I played the first time. It was super hard. The rules were also quite hard. But I don't know. There's something about the advancement with the card, the story of the cards. Then it's chips. You don't have miniatures, so the touch of the chips as well. It's quite nice to the touch, and all the rules of the. So you won again.
Yeah.
No, by
5
5
points.
points.
5 points this time. Yeah.
And it was just like, the difficulty, the fact that you need to plan in advance, like, okay, this bad guy has this power, this bad guy has this power. They are so asymmetric in terms of bad guys that you need to play with your own gearlocks, so your own guys. They are also very asymmetric. So you really need to know, like, with this one, I'm going to try this strategy to kill that one, and with this one, to kill that one. So it kind of feel a bit like playing an RPG. Well, it's an RPG, but playing an RPG on a console. And normally I don't really enjoy RPGs, but in this one, I don't know. I cannot really explain. It's just a feeling when I'm playing. I'm just like really into it, and I'm really into the moon and want to explore even more. And solo, I would not recommend to play the solo scenarios. I would not recommend to play with only one gearlock. The best game I had of Too Many Bones was when I played with three. And it's challenging because it's three different characters that have three different rule sheets, three different, they have different powers as well. So you need to really know those. But I felt that I had so many more choices to do in the battles that made my experiences even better. So yeah, that's it.
Definitely, I would like to try, because I'm looking for the experiences of playing all the different games. I'm that kind of person that likes to try different ones and not tend to go back to the same games to go deep.
Also, I have no problem playing new games and different types. I like to explore.
So you and I, we are doomed because there's always thousands coming out every year. So
yes,
it never stops.
Yes, but I start to have some kind of filtering. For example, I am burned out on games that where the theme is nature or animals or fish. I cannot. I'm like, no. I really that game I would not buy those games immediately. That's for sure. I would look at the rules. I would try to play them, but they really would need to have something in the mechanics that would pull me in. Because otherwise I'm burned out on those. And I love nature, I love animals, but there's something about board games about that for me it's boring. I don't enjoy.
But
besides that,
if it's pandemic and they put Gandalf in there,
oh yeah, that's
you're in.
No, you. I mean, anything that has Lord of the Rings, I'm a sucker. I have already admitted. You cannot trust my judgment on a game that has a Lord of the Rings theme. I will try to be the fairest I can, but Lord of the Rings holds a very special place in my heart. And every time I have something of Lord of the Rings, I'm very excited. But indeed, pandemic with Lord of the Rings, which is the next game that is coming out of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I know. That's right. But
I'm
it's
very excited about that one.
Cooperative, right? It's a cooperative, so
yeah. But pandemic, you can play solo. You control two people,
like a puzzle.
two person, so you can do it.
We are close to the end. Okay, it's been more than 1 hour. Very interesting conversation, but we are getting close. And I would like to ask you still, what is the game that is keeping you most hyped for the future? Any Kickstarter that you see that is really exciting you?
Well, there's that one of Lord of the Rings, of course. There's many board games now that are about to come that I'm very interested to play. A lot of them are from Portuguese designers and Portuguese publishers. Some of them I cannot talk about them.
Wow.
Yeah, because I participate in some playtesting, so they are still in development, but I am quite excited. From big publishers, I'm curious. It's not a new game. It's now being available starts to be available in their web shop, which is the Elder Scrolls from Chip Theory game. They say it has a better implementation of Too Many Bones, but I spent just so much bones. Well, yeah, so much bones. I spent so much money on Too Many Bones that I'm not really willing to spend more on another game of that same type. So yeah, I'm curious to see the rules and some playthroughs, but I'm not sure. And a Kickstarter that I'm waiting is the new Nemesis Retaliation. So I'm curious to try that one as well, because I have the base one, but I also have Lockdown. So I'm curious to try Retaliation because they are approaching it a bit differently. So I'm curious to try that one.
Is it true that the first game is the first Alien movie, then the second game is the second Alien movie, and down or the third Alien movie, and this one would be another Alien movie? So you had like this locked on a ship, then Marines against aliens, and then locked in a prison, like Lockdown, right? Is it true that they're trying to follow that logic?
I don't know. I remember enjoying Aliens 2 a lot. The first one, there is only one scene that I remember. I would not be able to tell the story of the movie. There's only the scene where the thing bursts out of the belly. But Alien 2, I do remember because in one of my games of Nemesis, it actually happened to me that the end of my game, so I won, was the same ending as Alien 2, where you open the hatch and the alien goes to space and gets destroyed.
That's Alien 1, right? Alien 1.
Is it Alien 1
Alien 2 is the Marines and she's fighting the Queen.
And is doesn't the Queen die because she opens the hatch? Isn't she with a little girl in the second one?
She is, yes. She is.
Then maybe I'm making confusion between the first and the one. I have mixed, but I have to revisit those movies. But it might be indeed. I do prefer the first one, but I enjoy Lockdown as well. There's the new mechanics. There's the lights. There's the elevator. So those are interesting additions to the game. But I do enjoy more the feeling that I'm in the middle of nowhere in the space, locked in a ship with aliens, and the prison sense. It's not a prison. It's more, what do they call it? It's how they call it? It's a space thing. It's a space. A space. Not a space center. Not space center, but it's they are a space station. Yeah, exactly. So it's a space station, and you have to explore and activate stuff. I do enjoy more the feeling of the spaceship. So, but now with the retaliation, indeed, you are going to be the Marines. So the characters that you control, they are going to be
retaliating back.
Way more. So I don't know if they will be overpowered or not, but I'm curious to try. I didn't see a lot about the game. I saw it in Essen exposed, but no play test was being done there.
Let's see. Anything else you'd like to add from your?
Yes, then there is a lot of games. Well, it's special to me because it's Orlando, and we are also friends, and so he's also releasing Adamastor that is coming soon. There is also the game that he's doing with André Santos, that now I should be ashamed, but I forgot the name. That is about the Mexican Day of the Dead people. That is called Ofrenda. So I'm really curious to try those two. And I'm curious for what Pythagoras is going to release in the next month. So
cool.
We'll see.
Cool. Thank you for sharing. So the last thing that I always ask the guests in the show is if who should they recommend me to invite for a future episode. So I also ask you, who do you think would be a good guest or an interesting guest for this show?
Fabio from Playing Season. He does quite good content in terms of news, but also because there's the prizes of Playing Season that are coming soon. Besides that, we always have also the Portuguese designers. Orlando is the first, but then you also have Rola, André Santos, the designer of Ofrenda and Utopia. He also designs a lot of games.
Challenge accepted. Emanuel, it has been totally my pleasure to have you here. I was hoping to have this conversation with you for so long, and I feel very pleased that finally we had a chance to change some ideas.
Same to me. Thank you, and I appreciate a lot of this talk.
I hope that one day I can meet you in person, really in person. Who knows? Maybe in a convention where I would finally experience the vibe that you describe.
Every time I plan a convention, I'll let you know, and I'll try to push you to join.
We need to book that in many months in advance, right? Because the tickets and the hotels just fly, right?
Oh, yeah, indeed. Yeah. I'm not going to join LadyCon this year, unfortunately, because of my move. But I'll be for sure in Essen this year. But I know Essen is a stretch for who lives in Portugal. I live in Belgium, so I'm lucky I can go by car. But next year, for sure, I will be in a Portuguese convention. Hopefully, if nothing blocks me from that. So we'll need to plan then.
Definitely, it will happen eventually. So
yes,
it's a matter of continue looking to the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.